married friend, 26F, can't stop talking about my, 27F, ex-boyfriend. Update, thank you all so much, such amazing support and helping me see through things. I sent her a message saying how uncomfortable last night was for me, that it was not right to rub her friendship with him on my face, and how it felt like she valued her relationship with my ex more than our friendship. I told her I can't dictate who she can be friends with, but that I cannot be friends with someone who's a close friend of that one person who messed me up mentally and emotionally. I wished her the best and blocked her from everywhere. I have known her since we were in grade 4. We lived in the same neighborhood and went to the same school. We were good friends till high school and eventually drifted apart. My best friend and she used to go to the same college and used to tell how she was clingy with a guy even though she had a boyfriend who went to a different college. I kept away from her and thought I would never be in touch with her, but we were friends on Facebook. I finished college and moved to a different country when I learned her father had passed away. I felt really bad and reached out to her. He mentioned she was also moving to the country and we decided to meet up. My boyfriend and I met her for lunch and eventually my boyfriend and her husband became friends. I broke up with my boyfriend and she said how she would have gone after my ex if only she wasn't married because he's really cute. I told her what he did to me, but it made no difference to her. She had plans of meeting my ex out for dinner and invited me out too. I stopped hanging out with her after that. She kept messaging me to meet quite a few times and I kept making excuses. I finally gave in and planned a dinner with her for today, but she wouldn't stop talking about my ex, telling how he is one of her close friends and how they keep sending each other Snapchats, like it was a big deal for her. It felt really annoying. I cut the dinner short and headed home. I don't want to be friends with her anymore. How should I tell her that I don't want to be friends with her without hurting her feelings? How do I stay away from her? TLDR, married friend became close friend of my ex after we broke up and keeps talking about him every time we meet. I know you can't tell people who to be friends with, but someone who cozies up to your pain and rubs salt in the wound isn't a friend. I respect and care for you, but think we've had boundary problems recently. Poop face is still a sore subject to me after the way he treated me. I've made that clear, but you continue to disrespect both your husband and me by speaking about him in a way I find inappropriate. I care for you, but think it would be best if we took some time apart for now. I wonder how her husband would feel or if he even knows about this guy. My initial thought: if I ever heard my so-say man if I were single 1,000 times I'd have dumped his ass so quick. Why are you still friends with her? She is having an affair with your ex behind her husband's back. Girl, you're still worried about sparing her feelings after all of this. Just be honest with her that the way she acts with you is unacceptable and you're not interested in continuing this friendship. It also sounds like she's having an emotional affair with op sex and only wants op there to make it less affairy. Do you want to say something to her? Because I would just ghost her. She's not your friend, she's likely having an affair with your ex and is trying to throw it in your face. She only wants you to come around if he is around as an excuse for her husband. Cut ties and move on. My 30/F husband's 30/M best friend 31/M has been living with us for 2 months and has no plans to leave. My husband's best friend, Liam, cheated on his wife multiple times and she finally kicked him out 2 months ago. He immediately came to stay with us even though I was against it, but my husband said Liam sounded suicidal so he couldn't just leave him to fend for himself. I reluctantly agreed that he could stay for 2 weeks. It's been 2 months and he has made no move to leave. Liam spends most of the day moping around the house and having obnoxiously loud conversations with my husband about how he should never cheat on me and how cheating was the biggest mistake he has ever made. He also spends a lot of time telling my husband how lucky he is that he has a loving wife and not a prison warden, all while supposedly trying to win back his wife. I'm friends with his wife and she asked me to let let him stay too so we could keep an eye on what he was doing for her so she knew if he was reconciliation material, which is the only reason I've tolerated this for this long, but I'm just sick of it all. I want him to leave. I've tried speaking to my husband, but he always makes excuses for Liam and claims he can't abandon his best friend. I don't believe in ultimatums, but I'm starting to think that's my only choice right now. Please help me find a way to get rid of this man. Too long didn't read. My husband's best friend moved in with us after his wife finally kicked him out 2 months ago for cheating on her multiple times. Ever since, he just mopes around the house all day long and is making no plans to leave. He can't abandon his best friend, but he's got no problem pissing off his wife. Time to stop trying to speak with your husband and simply inform him. Our marriage cannot survive with Liam taking advantage of us. He knew we offered a safe place to stay for 2 weeks. He has overstayed that welcome and disrespects us every day he stays and makes no plan to leave. I am disappointed that you do not have my back. I am disappointed that you would rather I live uncomfortably instead of supporting Liam to live independently with boundaries. If Liam stays another week, I will be unable to stay. I am no longer comfortable sharing my home with him. He does not respect marriage and he does not respect you or me. My hope is that you'll put your marriage ahead of your friend's choice to take advantage. Have a timeline. Stick to it. Your husband can't kick Liam out because then Liam will tell you about the affair he covered up for your husband. You know, just like your husband did for Liam. On your old post, Liam's affair is already out, so your husband has no leverage to get him to leave. Liam has all the cards here. If your husband pushes, or lets you kick him out, Liam will out him. Your husband knows you're upset about Liam overstaying, but he also knows it's not as serious a problem as you finding out about the affair. Or maybe I'm wrong and your husband being happy to cover up an affair for his buddy has no bearing on his character or his opinion of cheating. ETA, I reread your post and the previous one, and I am 100% sure your husband is cheating and Liam knows about it. Having obnoxiously loud conversations with my husband about how he should never cheat on me and how cheating was the biggest mistake he has ever made. I would put cash money down that these conversations started with your husband gently suggesting that Liam should think about moving out and Liam then subtly reminding him who's in charge. You even admitted on the other post that you knew Liam would help your husband cheat. IDK how you're going to get him out of the house, but you should an STD panel done ASAP. Ultimately, your husband is the problem for failing to stand up for you. So far he's seen that there's been no consequences of Liam overstaying his welcome. It's absolutely ultimatum time. Liam goes, or you do. In the meantime, don't cook anything for Liam. Don't pay for his food, wash his clothes, or tidy his mess. As for his wife, it's not your job to be a childminder for her husband. She and Liam can take responsibility for their own marriage. Go stay somewhere else. Liam is probably not suicidal nearly as much as he is manipulative. Tell your husband that you think Liam needs professional assistance, but until he gets it and gets out of the house, you won't be around, so they'll have to fend for themselves. Yeah, those loud, pointed comments about how lucky your husband is to have a wife, not a prison warden. They're not implementing his situation. They're warnings for you not to set boundaries, lest you end up in the same situation. I, 25F, found out my family has been excluding me from a major discussion. I found out via social media. Too long didn't read. My family, which consists of 4 adult children including me, has been excluding me from a discussion that my brother may have autism. I'm 25F. I am completely deaf and communicate only in sign language. I don't talk or hear, but the impact on my independence is not severe enough that I require family assistance. I can get by in life and am doing well. I'm not close to any of my adult siblings, 2 older sisters and 1 younger brother. The 2 sisters are in their early 30s/late 20s and my brother his early 20s. When we were younger, we never got along well, but I chalked it up to typical sibling rivalry. As we get older, I've observed that they are becoming closer to each other without me, which is fine with me, until I found out that my brother asked my entire family to fill out a survey as per his physician's request. When I asked my parents for what the survey was for, I was told that he may be having Asperger's and had asked family members to describe what his childhood was like. I was never sent this survey. It's not making sense to me because one of my two sisters never lived with him for the past 10 years and yet is chosen to give an accurate appraisal. I've been living with him longer than she has, so I was able to see how he has truly lived at home. I asked why I wasn't included and all I got was, "Your sisters are older than him, so they're closer to him." I'm older than him. I may not be as close to him as them, but I was hurt. Ever since I found this out, I've never looked at my siblings the same way anymore. Am I justified in feeling this way? Maybe they're ashamed of having me as a family member with disability. Because of my deafness, it's hard for me to feel included or communicate with my own family. Have they learned to communicate via sign language with you? Your feelings are valid, but just move on. If your own family does not want to include you in things, don't linger or show them you are upset. You are an adult, thus you can definitely get by without needing them. I'm sorry they have excluded you though. I don't know ASL, so there were a lot of frustrations stemming from miscommunication growing up. If I were in your shoes, I would just cut them out honestly. They do not care to learn sign language nor include you in anything. I would just cry it out and cut them out of my life. They don't seem to care for you at all. Skeptical. We didn't discover that our daughter was partially hearing impaired until she was in 5th grade. Long story. But the first thing we did after we learned that was seek out ASL schools for the family to attend. It turned out her hearing was not expected to deteriorate any further, and we have no communication problems between the three of us, so we dropped the ASL. I just can't imagine a family that would not make the effort. I just can't imagine a family that would not make the effort. It is actually more common than families like yours. Hard to believe but true. 60% of hearing families of deaf children don't use sign language in the home. Very few hearing parents are fluent signers. The situation as portrayed in the movie Mr. Holland's Opus is common. One parent, if not both, sees it as too hard, not worth my time. Fact they are excluding their own child from the family on an everyday basis does not bother them at all. But you don't have to be a good person to have a baby. Autism is a lot about communication. If your brother does not know ASL, it's possible he, or his physician, excluded you since you already communicate differently. Your observations might not fit the criteria they use to diagnose autism. Spend time with people you like and who like you. Your family sucks. Just by the fact that they do know ASL proves it. Emo, yes, you are justified in feeling hurt. From your explanation, the rest of your family was asked to fill out a questionnaire but excluded you. You did not mention if it was your brother who gave the reason you were not included. From your phrasing, it appears it was your parents stating the reason. I would suggest reaching out to your brother and personally asking him the reason why you were not included. His own perception may have led him to erroneously believe that you would not have been as perceptive due to being deaf.